All right, everybody, welcome back. We're diving deep today, and we're tackling a question that's been around forever. Like,
Mm-hmm.
who's worse, the liar or the enabler? This came from one of you guys. It's this YouTube video. Hold on, let me make sure I get the title right.
Yeah.
Who is worse, the liar or enabler? Hashtag TMBR at DJ Hamp on deck. That's from the This Might Be Risky channel with DJ Hamp. And let me tell you, he goes in on this one.
Oh, yeah, he does. He
But
doesn't shy away from it.
No, he does not. And we've got our expert here to really help us untangle all this.
Well, I'm excited. DJ Hamp, he takes this pretty serious topic, but keeps it light. Like it's a casual Friday night chat.
Yeah.
And it brings out some really strong opinion.
Oh, yeah. Before we get into it, though, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsor, OtisWho Network out of St. Louis, Missouri.
Absolutely.
They make this deep dive possible, so thank you to them. Okay, so let's set the scene here. Friday night, DJ Hamp's chatting with his audience, and he throws out this scenario. A guy lies to his girlfriend, tells her he's got to work all weekend. But the truth is he gambled away all his money and can't afford to do what they had planned.
Classic.
What was your first thought when you heard this setup?
It was just like, bam, instant sides drawn,
Oh, yeah.
Team liar versus team enabler.
I noticed that, too. It was like this really visceral reaction.
Oh, yeah. I was fascinated, though, by how they explained their positions.
Me too. So Team Liar, they were all about personal responsibility.
Right.
The liar's the one actively making that choice to deceive, break that trust, and to them, that's the ultimate wrong.
Yeah, and they do have a point, right? I mean, a lie, no matter how small, can do damage to a relationship.
Totally. But then you've got Team Enabler coming in hot.
Oh, yeah.
They're saying, hey, without that enabler, the liar wouldn't keep getting away with it. They're the ones perpetuating this whole cycle.
It's not always malicious, is it? Sometimes it's misplaced loyalty, or maybe a fear of confrontation.
Almost like it's easier to enable than to deal with the fallout of calling someone out.
Exactly. It's self-preservation, but it ends up hurting everyone involved.
Okay, so we've got these two camps going head to head.
Yeah.
And then DJ Hamp drops in some real-life examples. And things get real.
Oh, things get intense.
Yeah, he brings up intervention shows where families are enabling addicts, sometimes without even realizing it.
Right, and it's really compelling because they frame it as love, as care. It's this slippery slope where good intentions lead to, well, not so good outcomes.
Yeah, you start to wonder, where does care end and enabling begin?
It is a blurry line.
Oh, for sure. And he doesn't stop there. He talks about my 600-pound life. How so sometimes families contribute to unhealthy eating habits.
Those are really powerful examples because it makes you think,
Oh, yeah.
am I supporting my loved ones in a healthy way, or am I holding them back without realizing it?
Yeah. And then just when you think the conversation can't get any heavier, one of the guests shares this personal story about enabling their younger sibling.
I know, right? You could feel the weight of it.
Oh, totally. And how their enabling played a role in their siblings' downward spiral.
That story, man, that one really hit home the devastating consequences of enabling. This wasn't just an abstract debate anymore. It was a real person grappling with the fallout.
It was a serious reality check for everyone watching, I thought. But then DJ Hamp throws out even more scenarios just to push people's buttons a little bit more.
Oh, he loves to stir the pot.
Oh, yeah. He asks, would you snitch if a kid you knew was involved in a crime?
Whoa.
Like, when does loyalty become complicity?
Right. Talk about a moral dilemma. It forces you to weigh loyalty against justice, and there's no easy answer.
And then he brings up girl code.
Oof, yeah.
Should women always protect each other, even if it means hiding the truth?
That one got heated.
Oh, it did. It brought up all these questions about societal expectations for women. The pressure to choose loyalty over honesty, especially when it comes to other women. Like, is it always right to protect each other no matter what?
He was definitely challenging some deeply ingrained beliefs with that one.
Oh, yeah. He was not holding back.
Mm.
And then, just to keep things extra spicy, he lays out this whole scenario about a DJ at a club
Okay, yeah.
who's dealing with a really overly friendly female fan.
Mm.
And the chat just explodes. They're dissecting consent, social cues in that kind of environment. It was wild.
Oh, I know. It was like a case study playing out in real time in the comments section.
It was. And it really underscored how those seemingly harmless interactions can get complicated so fast.
Especially when you throw in alcohol and social expectations. It's like a recipe for misunderstanding.
It is. It really is.
It's amazing how this simple question, like who's worse, the liar or the enabler, just opens up all these other conversations about social dynamics and like personal responsibility. It's fascinating.
Right. And it makes you realize These things are everywhere. Like, they're woven into everything.
Yeah.
Our relationships, our families, even society as a whole.
You know, one thing that really stood out to me was how often the chat would shift to, what would you do?
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't just about judging these hypothetical people. It was
No.
like they were putting themselves in those situations.
Yeah, it became really personal really fast.
Oh, yeah.
Like that whole debate about snitching on a kid.
Mm,
You know, if you knew they were involved in a crime,
yeah.
everyone had to, like, examine their own values, and I think that's really valuable.
Yeah, absolutely.
When does loyalty become complicity? Like, is there a point where staying silent actually makes you part of the problem?
That's tough, isn't it? There's no easy answer to that question.
No.
It depends on the context, the severity of what's happening, the potential consequences.
Yeah.
But even just thinking about it,
Fair.
grappling with it, that's a sign of growth. That's huge.
Absolutely. And then you've got the girl code discussion.
Oh, yeah.
DJ Hamp throws that out there, and it's like he's challenging this whole idea of, like, unquestioning female solidarity. Should women always protect each other, even if it means covering up something that's wrong or harmful?
And the comments exploded. I mean,
If they did, it got heated.
it was fascinating to see how it played out.
Yeah.
You had some saying blind loyalty is just as bad as the lie.
Right.
Others saying women need to have each other's backs no matter what, especially in a society that pits them against each other anyway.
Exactly.
It's a really tough question.
Yeah, it is. It's like, how do you balance those loyalties,
Right.
to your friends, to the truth, to what you believe is right?
And there's no easy answer.
No,
But DJ Hamp made people think.
he did. And that's what's so great about his approach. He uses humor to tackle these super serious issues.
It's brilliant, really.
It's disarming, right?
Totally.
And then, bam, he hits you with a question that makes you rethink everything.
He makes these conversations approachable, even fun in a way. And I think people are more open to challenging ideas when they're presented like that.
I agree. And it reminded me of something my grandma used to
Wow.
say. She always told me, sometimes tough love is the sweetest kind.
That's a good one.
And it really applies here,
It does.
Sometimes true support means setting boundaries, holding people accountable, even when it's hard.
Even when you don't wanna.
Right. And it's about looking past that immediate discomfort and focusing on what's best for that person in the long run.
And that's not always easy, especially with family or close friends.
No, it's not.
It's easy to want to protect them, to shield them from the consequences.
You want to fix it for them.
Exactly. But sometimes that protection does more harm than good.
Yeah. It's like that saying, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime.
I like that.
Sometimes the best thing you can do is let someone struggle. Let them learn from their mistakes, even if it's hard to watch.
You're giving them the opportunity to grow, to become more resilient.
Right. And that brings us back to that original question, who's worse, the liar or the enabler? I don't know if we can say for sure.
I don't know if there's a clear winner or loser in this situation.
But I think we can say both roles are complex and they're
Yeah.
connected.
It's a dance, they feed off each other. It's a cycle that can be really tough to break.
It is. And DJ Hamp's video does a great job of highlighting that dynamic,
Oh, yeah.
making us more aware of the ways we might be playing those roles ourselves.
It's a call to action,
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
he's saying, hey, look at your own behavior. Are you part of the problem?
And that self-awareness is so important.
It is. It's crucial.
It's so easy to get caught up in our own justifications, our own
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah, you get tunnel vision.
You do. And this deep dive is like, okay, step back.
Yeah.
Am I being honest with myself? Am I part of this? Even if I don't want to be.
Yeah.
Okay, so after all of that back and forth, all those real-life examples, hypothetical dilemmas, where do we land? What are the takeaways from this liar-enabler deep dive?
I think it's less about pointing fingers and more about recognizing these patterns in our own lives.
Yeah.
DJ Hamp, he keeps it light, but his message is serious. We all play a role in these dynamics, whether we realize it or not.
And that self-awareness piece is so important, isn't it? It's easy to get stuck in our own heads, our own justifications.
It is, yeah.
This deep dive is like forcing us to ask, am I being honest with myself here? Am I part of the problem, even if I don't mean to be?
Right, and that honesty has to go deeper than just what we say out loud. It's about looking at our motivations. Why are we doing what we're doing?
Yeah.
Are we truly acting in someone's best interest? Or are we driven by fear or guilt or even a need to control?
Right. Sometimes we enable people because we don't want to rock the boat.
Exactly.
Or maybe we feel guilty about something and try to overcompensate. It's like we're putting a Band-Aid on a wound that needs stitches.
And those Band-Aids, they might help in the moment,
Yeah.
But they don't solve the problem. In fact, they can make it worse by preventing real healing.
So what's the answer? How do we break free from these patterns?
I think it starts with communication. Honest, sometimes difficult conversations. Expressing our needs and concerns, setting boundaries, holding each other accountable even when it's hard.
That's tough, though, isn't it?
It is. It takes courage.
Way easier to just go along with things even when we know it's not right.
It's definitely easier, but it's not better for anyone in the long run.
So is it like a muscle?
Yeah.
The more we have these tough conversations, the easier they get?
I think so, yeah. It takes practice, but the payoff is worth it.
Okay, so what's the payoff? What do we gain from all this?
Well, you gain stronger relationships built on trust and respect, for one thing.
Yeah.
You get a better understanding of yourself and others, and you feel more empowered. When we stop enabling, we give everyone the freedom to make healthier choices.
So it's not just about stopping something negative, it's about creating something positive in its place.
Exactly, and it's about letting go of the need to control or fix other people.
Mm.
Sometimes the best thing we can do is let them face the consequences of their actions, let them learn from their mistakes.
That's like we're giving them the opportunity to grow.
Exactly, to become more responsible, to learn and become better versions of themselves.
I love that. That's a really powerful takeaway from this whole deep dive. It's not about judging or blaming anyone.
No, not at all.
It's about understanding and compassion and working towards healthier dynamics in our relationships and in the world.
I think that's a great way to put it.
So the next time you're in a situation where you see someone lying or being enabled, remember this conversation. Remember the importance of self-awareness, honest communication, setting boundaries. Those small choices can have a huge ripple effect. And a big thank you to the OtisWho Network out of St. Louis, Missouri.
Absolutely.
Their support makes these deep dives possible, and we are so grateful for their partnership. And to you, our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey into the complexities of human behavior. We hope you've learned something valuable that you can take with you. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those conversations going. We'll see you next time.